is stated here that if any of the variable will change, what will happen, or why the things are moving like that. But whatever we are doing, we have to see that how the data, it's not the statement that we are saying that okay, the things are turning like this. So what is the real reason that why the things are turning like this? And if the reasons will change, or if we include some other, you can say, strategy or some other decisions, how the things will turn out. It is the data which shows us the path that okay, it is going to be like this or that. So and in this journey of research, it is the data which enlighten us that how the things are turning like this. So in this world of research, only somebody says that we are going to rely on only two things: one is God, and second is data. So everything, whatever a researcher is doing, the journey of inquisitiveness, of the search of the knowledge or enhancing the knowledge, it is the data on which we are relying, that what how we collect the data, how we process the data. And Sarah rightly said, the information we are getting after processing the data, what they indicate us, that how the things are moving, or how the things has happened as they happened, and what will happen if if we are adding some or more strategies, or if we are turning the things, or if we are using some other methods, or if you are using the theory in a different domain, whether or not it is going to work for us. So our senior has taken a very apt topic here. It's a 7 day long session on how to in data analysis, using obviously the tool that we are collecting the data, but how we are going to analyze the data. So SPSS, which is a very vastly used social science data tool in the hands of researcher, that how we are going to process and how we are going to get the information, or the crux of the things in the body of the knowledge. So sir has taken a lot, so many things, so I'm just not taking that much of time, and I congratulate my best wishes for the success. I have already seen that so many students, nearly 80 participants are here, and we have a very large number of participants who have shown interest here in this very apt topic of hands-on training. The most beautiful part of this workshop is it's in a hands-on training we are going to get. It's not like that a lecture delivery that we are going to know that what is data or how to collect data, but we're also going to do hands-on, that how we are just feeding the data, or what are the variables or attributes attached with the data, how the data is processed, and how we are analyzing, and interpretation is also we can do so. So all the best, sir. And once again, hearty welcome to all of the participants in this 7 day long journey of workshop. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Suhasini. And I would like to just tell something about what we are going to learn in the coming journey of 7 days. So 7 days is a good journey, and with the and this and in this journey we will definitely be able to learn the software, which is SPSS whatsoever. And other thing is the very important thing regarding this is that the interpretation part. Just now, Dr. Suhasini was mentioning that interpretation is one of the most important thing which we have to learn. And in this workshop, particularly today, we will start with the address by Professor T.K. Jain regarding the research pathology and the research design. This will set the tune that how we have to actually proceed further with the things. Okay, it means once your design is set, then only you will be able to take the further decision regarding what type of data to be collected and how it is to be processed, and how to analyze and interpret it. So further, when we will be coming up with this, and when once your data is being collected, means the research starts right from, means it's not about the interpretation, it starts much beyond that. So just connecting the links, we will be proceeding further for setting up the variables, and how we have to set the, and besides that, what are the various types of variables which are to be set. So setting of the variables along with the types, and what type is to be used in what type of you can say the research question. So accordingly, it will be treated and taken up. So types of scales further and how to use it in SPSS particularly, and with all the hands-on. One request to all of you, those who are attending this, it will be very the workshop will be very fruitful if you just take two devices. One device is you can see what is happening, and on other device where you have installed the SPSS, there you can do the things with your own hands. That will make it a real hands-on exercise. So proceeding further with that, then we will be dealing with the missing values, and how does SPSS actually calculates or helps us in calculating the, or you can say estimating the missing values in between. And then after the creation of the data variable structure, and then again we will be doing something hands-on, some exercises we will be doing hands-on with that. And then further will come this working of frequencies, working with frequencies, charts, and graphs, how to prepare that. So before that, we will provide you one sheet, which if it is possible for you to just get a printout of it, that will be very good, because that entire sheet you have to enter in the SPSS. That is the most important part, which is called data entry. And after the data entry, certain sheets will be, certain more data sets will be shared with you. On that data set, we will be applying certain you can say some exercises will be there, which will help you in understanding and grasping how this SPSS works properly, and how and just it will make you sync with the language of what SPSS understands, and how we have to actually tell the software to just bring out the desired results. And further, because it's a hands-on exercise, it is promoted. And on Saturday and Sunday, both the days, we can just do one thing, that on one day we can just see how the Google form works. Actually, after the Google Forms, or you can say MS Forms, or whatever type of forms, it's SurveyMonkey, and there are various other tools available just in order to collect the primary data online. From that particular thing, how we have to import the things in SPSS. So that is what will happen on Saturdays and Sundays. And then further we will again start with the test of significances, the level of significance, and further things. And then coming to the 7th day, we will talk about the central tendencies, how they are used, the standard error. There are concepts regarding that. And then we will stop by just doing bivariate correlation and a t-test and chi-square test, because this is a basic workshop. And this 7 days doing 1.5 hour over here will give you a insight of how you have to apply these things. So there are various other things which can be done ourselves. So 1.5 hour half hour over here, and remaining you can say 3 or 4 hours at your own end will make you perfect in whatsoever you will be doing. At least it will open up your insights, and it will make you comfortable with the software, which looks like Excel when you just open it up for the first instance. So my request to all of you is that participate more and more in this. And whenever you have any problem, please raise the hand, because if we will start speaking in between, then it will create a chaos. So whenever you raise the hand, you will be allowed to just tell your problem. Maybe because why it is so, because it's again a hands-on workshop. So workshop has to be something on which you have to do some work on. So that is actually the crux of this, because we are. And one more thing is, I request those people, those who are from my university, Manipal University, Jaipur, we have made arrangements in lab number 111 from tomorrow and onwards, because I will also be sitting over there in that lab. So you will be having a real time big screen from where you can just see and learn. And that will be, I think, the maximum benefit which you will be getting out of that. And the timing is also very good, 3:30 to 5, and then afterwards you can come along with your bags and take it off after the workshop is over directly to your homes. So that is one of the arrangement which we have done for Manipal University Jaipur participants and the research scholars, that they can have a benefit of having it over there. So there are about 60 computers, and intentionally we have done one means just you can say the proper social distancing is being maintained, and it is compulsory to wear a mask in it if you want to enter. So that is my request to all of you, and this is how this workshop will work. So the ultimate objective of this workshop is not only to teach and just not only to train in SPSS, but also in the various aspects of research methodology, which we will keep on touching during this journey of 7 days. So I would now stop over here, and because you will be listening me for I think maximum time in 5 years, five coming days to go from this day itself, and would like to request Professor TK Jain to proceed further with today's session. Thank you all, sir. I would at this outset I would like to thank our Dean sir, Professor Sudhir Rao sir, and our head of department, Dr. Suhasini Verma, and they have come over here, and they have graced the event, both of you. And sir, with your words of wisdom, sir, we are fortunate to have you over here, and just to listen about what is the insight of the data coming up in the time to come. So thank you, and let us just over to TK Jain sir for the rest of the session. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Pahwa. It is indeed a great opportunity for me to interact on this 7 days hands-on faculty development program. I want to thank our Dean Sir, Dr. Sudhinder Hanmantha Rao. I also want to thank HOD, Dr. Suhasini, for their kind support and encouragement, so that we have come to this FDP, and this has dream coming true. So we will be discussing about a lot of issues, a lot of things, and it is hands-on training. That means your participation is key. You have to undertake research and data analysis using SPSS during this workshop, and that will be something very useful to you. I'll be sharing with you my screen now. So I hope my screen is visible to you now. Is the screen visible?
No, sir.
Not visible?
No, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
Now it will be visible now, sir, because that the main screen was for this 7 days on, that was on. So now it will be visible.
Is it visible?
No, sir.
Not visible. मेरी स्क्रीन पे नहीं, ओके, मैं बिना पीपीटी दिखाई ऐसे बोल रहा हूं। अब आ गया। Yes, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome. Thank you, Pawasab, because Pawasab has come down to my room to help me. He has been so kind always. He's a true researcher, and very happy to be in a very good team in Manipal University. We are here to discuss research design. Was the inauguration program, and now we come to research design. What is research? The fundamental aspect. Research is essentially, as we all know, exploring a new field of study. So most of us when we are doing research, because in teaching, along with teaching, we have two important tasks of doing research and publication. And when we are doing research, I often find that resource scholars come to me saying that I'm doing research on this. Now, the first thing that I ask them is, what is a research? So research is there some new addition, some new knowledge, some new understanding, some new observation, some new reality that is brought to the world? If these questions are yes, the answer is yes, then it is research. It means something that is going to add to our pool of knowledge base. We all are living in a pool of knowledge base. The universe has so much of knowledge base. And if we say that we are doing research, our research should add some new knowledge to the existing knowledge work. That is most important. Yes, you want to ask some question? Yes, kindly mute yourself. If you have a question, you can unmute and ask your questions if you have any questions. So the first important question that we have to ask is, what is research? If you are doing a research, the first thing, like if you are doing a PhD research, then the first question that is asked during your research committee meeting is, what is the outcome of this research? Means, why should we call it a research after all? Is there some new addition of knowledge? Is there some new discovery of new relationship between variables? Because if you are able to find a new law, that's a research, no doubt. If you are able to discover a new relationship, like if you are for example, the law of demand is there in consumer behavior. Similarly, if you are able to find a new law of human behavior, consumer behavior, something like that, well, that's also research, because you are able to find something new. Or if you are able to find out, let's say, a new relation between some products, for example, agricultural scientists, if they are able to find impact of certain plant varieties or plant pathogens on other plants, that is also research, because that will help farmers. So the impact of research is also important, because due to your research, world should be benefited. There should be benefit to the entire community. There should be benefit to the entire world. There should be benefit to those fields which are directly involved in helping the community at large, helping the society at large, helping the world at large. So, for example, I must say that the research, like the research by agricultural scientists, is helpful, because through these researches, we are able to help the farmers. If agriculture research is taking place, it is helping the farmers. If research is taking place in laboratories, it is going to help manufacturing sector. If research is taking place by social scientists, it will contribute to better understanding of human nature, better understanding of society. So research by different communities is ultimately contributing to well-being, happiness, better life, better world, and more respect and more cohesive world environment. The research should ultimately lead to a better life for all of us. If there is no positive impact on our lives, there is no research. If due to research, we are not able to contribute to happiness, we are not able to contribute to the world, we are not able to contribute to our lifestyle, this is not the research, right? So research should lead to all these things. So what are the steps in research? First is the understanding of research question. A research question pops up in your mind, and then you start thinking that, should I go ahead and solve this question? So research starts with the question, and question is generally, the question comes to you either from observations or from industries or from newspapers, or from the research question may also come from previous researches. Like if the research scholars have in their research papers written that there is no study on this field, then you have a path that if others are saying that there is no study on this subject, let us start it, right? So this is how the research may start. So research question is the starting point. So where from the research question has come? It has come from other researches. It may come from previous researches. It may come from other scholars. It may come from newspapers. It may come from other observations. It may come from some problem, from tragedy. Like right now, due to COVID-19, a lot of researches are being undertaken in the field of pharmacology, in the field of medicine, in the field of biotechnology, to develop new medicines, to develop new solutions, to develop new vaccines. That is, the research started because of these research questions. So this is the starting point of research, right? So when your research starts, the first question is, what is your research question? And then the next task is that you study literature review and prepare your research plan, which we call as research design. You have to develop a path, a course of action, a research strategy, which is called research design. So what is research design? Research design is your strategy to achieve your research objectives. You have some research questions to answer. You have some research objectives to achieve. How will you achieve those? You will achieve them through research design. So let's talk about research design. Research designs are basically of two types, qualitative and quantitative research designs. The ABCD of research design is like this. Like there are various types of research design, which I mentioned here as ABCDE. A stands for action research design, B for basic quasi-experimental design, C for case study research design. Some people also go for correlational study, cross-sectional study, or causal study. Then D for descriptive research designs. Then E for experimental research design or ethnographic research design. F for field design, field experiments or fixed designs, and G for grounded theory designs. So these are the ABCDE of research design, that is different type of research designs that you can take up as per your expertise. The choice of research design depends upon your own expertise and also upon the requirement of the work. For example, if you have developed a new fertilizer and you want to check whether this really works or not, that means in order to develop a new fertilizer, you will have to undertake field experiments. So your research design will be based on field experiments. No other research design will be suitable there. But on the other hand, if you really want to study great management practices, innovative management practices, then the case study research design is the best research design. No other method of research design will really work there. On the other hand, if you really want to know, if you want to really develop organization development interventions, those methods through which organizations can be transformed, organizations can be developed, then action research design is the best research design. No other research design will be suitable there. So it depends on your research purpose. What is your research? What do you want to achieve? What is your research question? And based on that, you have to prepare your research design. And during PhD research study, I always advise the research scholars, many of you are research scholars, many of you are doing your PhD, So I always request all research scholars that during the first 6 months or first 1 year of your research study, you should thoroughly study different research design and prepare your research design so that your research is really fruitful. Spending time on designing your research design will be a very big investment for you, very useful investment for you, and it will help you throughout your life, because your research design will help you in doing great research. For example, I'll give you an example of my one research scholar. He wanted to undertake research on, his research question was that how can we transform public sector organizations? And therefore, he decided to undertake research in the field of organization development. Obviously, action research design was the best research design. So what he did, he used training and development tools in the organization. He took his study before and after training and development. So before undertaking training and development, he collected data from the organization, data about people's belief, data about organization culture, data about organization work practices. Then he undertook training and development activities. And then after training and development, again, he studied the same variables like the belief system, the overall culture, the work system, the overall work philosophy, and compared the data before and after. And based on that, he was able to develop some OD interventions. And he suggested, based on his study, what should be the methodology for transformation of public sector organizations. Right? So your research design should suit your research requirement. What is your research purpose? And your research design should help you in achieving your research objectives. Right? One research scholar wanted to undertake a study on consumer behavior. And in order to undertake that study, he undertook field work. And during field work, he distributed the products to the customers, asked the customers to give feedback, and based on the feedback, the products were redesigned. The products were again offered to the customers. Customers' feedback was again taken, and thereafter customers' discussion was organized. And how customers use those products, what was their observation, did they discuss about that product to their relatives, did they discuss about that product among their families, friends, did they recommend about that product to their friends? These questions were asked during discussion. So this is a mixed research design where many things are combined. The field work is there is a discussion, there is a participant observation method. Participant observation method means we are using ethnographic research design where customers are doing something and you are participating with them, you are observing them. So this is also possible that you can combine 3-4 research designs together and create your own research design, right? And that's what we have observed in many cases. What happened in case of Hawthorne studies? Hawthorne studies are very famous in organizational behavior studies. What happened during the Hawthorne studies? If any one of you can summarize and tell me, we have got plenty of psychologists here in our research group, and they have studied also these research experiments. So, yes, would you like to share something about Hawthorne studies? What happened in case of Hawthorne studies? What was the research design there?
मम्मा आपसे कितने टॉल हूँ मम्मा देखो तो मॉम
kindly mute yourself, all the participants. I thought somebody wants to share observations on Hawthorne studies. You see, I'll just briefly tell you about Hawthorne studies. What happened in this case, that before Hawthorne studies, the scientific theory. Yes, anyone wants to say something? I am not able to get your voice. Somebody is speaking something, but I'm not able to get the voice. Yes, anyone who wants to speak something?
मेरे पास तो मैकबुक आ चुका है, वो 5 लाख का है, so you better not get.
Yes, anyone who wants to say something?
No, sir. Carry on, sir. Some other persons are. I think there is background noise. So carry on.
I mean, you should either mute yourself, or if you are saying something, speak it loudly so that it is visible. It is audible to me. I have stopped sharing the screen because when I was sharing the screen, I was not able to see you people.
We are listening. The series participants are listening your voice. No problem, sir.
Yeah. So I was talking to you about Hawthorne experiments. So what happened in case of Hawthorne experiments? Before Hawthorne studies, there were a lot of scholars like Taylor who had developed scientific theory that you apply scientific tools and your productivity will improve. They had proved it using proper research tools. They had proved all these things, you know. So because when we are doing a research, proper research, and through proper research experiments, we are able to confirm to others that, look, this is the relationship between these variables. So the Hawthorne studies were started originally to test and check the hypothesis of scientific management. So it was started by Elton Mayo and Roethlisberger. What they did was that they said that scientific management people have said that if you increase the level of lighting, production will go up, productivity will go up. That is that was their starting point, right? So what they did, they increased the level of light. That was called illumination. And when they increased the level of light, they checked the productivity increased. They again increased the level of lighting, the productivity again increased. They again increased the level of lighting, the productivity again increased. Then they started reversing the process, right? And when they reduced the level of lighting, the productivity still increased. They again reduced the level of lighting and the productivity still increased. They brought down the level of light to almost zero bulb, right? Almost no light. The productivity still increased. They were baffled. They were confused. They were surprised. So anyone who is not from management background can tell me why it happened in this research? No one?
Sir, that variable is controlled variable.
Yes. Anyone else?
Because
That
there is
is-
no
Sir, it was-
relationship between that variable to
Yes,
increase productivity.
So productivity, why productivity increased?
Sir, it was because the workers were conscious of the fact that they were being watched.
I mean, you have studied it well, and that's why you are saying. I wanted to know something from those who have not done MBA, because I wanted to listen from them. Yes, your answer is right. Your observation is right. She has very rightly said. So the Hawthorne experiments, surprised the researchers. Research is a very dynamic process. Although you decide about research design in advance, but it always never works. You have to be flexible, you have to be adaptive, you have to modify your research design as per the research outcome. So the research scholars were surprised. They thought that there is direct positive correlation between level of lighting and productivity. But when they saw that as they increased the level of lighting, productivity increased. But when they reduced the level of lighting, productivity still increased. They were surprised. What they found, what the research outcome was confusing. Therefore, they continued research experiments. This was the first experiment. Then they carried out 3 more research experiments. I'll not talk about those 3 experiments. It will take long time. So after total 4 experiments, they gave their research conclusion. So their findings were discussed after 4 research experiments. The first experiment was the illumination experiment, which I discussed with you. Thereafter, they had to redesign their research work, and they undertook 3 more research design, 3 more comprehensive researches. And based on the 4 research experiments, they were able to discuss their research finding. So your research findings are dependent on your research design. If your research design is very good, it will help you, right? And research design need to be flexible. You may have to change the research design as per the, when you're doing your research. And in action research, this is happening every day, because in action research, what happens? For example, I'll give you the example of how I undertook action research. I was working with the Election Commission. It was some 15 years back when we were doing experimental research. It was action research to see how people become more conscious for their voting rights. So we undertook this experiment in Bikaner. So the state legislative elections were about to take place. An election commission wanted that voter turnout should increase. The voting in Bikaner city was only 40%. During last election, only 40% people had voted. So the challenge was to increase that, some 40% were there, to increase that to very high level. So what do you do? So action research was started. So what we did, that we decided to undertake puppet shows in every mohalla and undertake survey at that time from the voters to know whether they will really go and undertake voting or not. The theme of the puppet show was on election. So the primary purpose of the puppet show was to encourage the voters that they should go for voting. So the first round was done. In every mohalla, we undertook a puppet show. And after the puppet show, we immediately gathered the people there, collected, asked them the questions, and noted down their responses. And the data was collected like this, right? And based on this data, I compiled the data and sent back to the Election Commission, and we requested them that the data show that people are not interested in voting. They think that vote करने से क्या फायदा मिलेगा? हम vote क्यों करें? Right? MLA is not going to work for us. Things like that. Then we requested the Election Commission to give us permission to organize some other activities. So they give us permission. We gave another proposal to them. This time what we told them, that people will go to vote if the children will ask them to go to vote. So we should adopt a strategy, different strategy, and our research design should be changed. Our research approach should be changed. So Election Commission agreed, and we adopted new strategy. We then approached all the schools of Bikaner and contacted all the children who are studying there and asked every child that when you go to your home, ask your parents that you have to go and undertake voting. If you will vote, our city will develop. If you will not vote, our city will not develop. So every child had to go to home, ask parents to do voting. और पापा को जाके पूछना है वोट दिया क्या, मम्मी को जाके पूछना है वोट दिया क्या, क्यों नहीं दिया. That is what we did. And the students were asked to undertake rally. So students का हमने voting के लिए rally करवाया. This is what we did. And again we asked the students, did they go to their home? Did they tell their parents? Did they ask their parents to go and do voting? And asked all the children that you have to undertake a rally. So these activities were undertaken. So research design was changed. Action research was action research, right? We again found that people were basically resistant. That our children are asking us to vote, but all the candidates we do not know, they are useless people. Political people are always useless and things like that. Then immediately we again modified. We took permission from the Election Commission and we said that, look, we want to do profiling of the candidates. At that time, all over India, nobody was doing profiling of the political candidates. Election Commission agreed and we went for it. So what we did, we prepare detailed profiling of all candidates who were participating in the election and published them in newspapers. Complete profile of every candidate, and asked everyone that you read the profile, If you want more details, you can contact us. You can contact the candidate, collect data, and in that profile we wrote, we took the interview of the election candidates. What is their goal? Why they want to participate in election? All these things we mentioned in profiling, and it helped us. And what happened, that from 40% turnout, we were able to increase the polling to 67%. यानी 40% से 67%. The increase was almost 20%. So we were able to increase. We means, I mean, we were working on behalf of Election Commission. So through that campaign, we were able to increase voting from 40% to 67%. That is the outcome of the research activity, action research. That is, action research is a field work where you are flexible. You are able to apply new research tools. You are able to change your research tools. Your research design is flexible and it helps you in achieving your research objectives. So that is a beautiful aspect about action research. We really need to be, I mean, flexible enough. We really need, and that's why, you know, in all our universities, we have a very healthy system. Every 6 months, the researcher has to come to the university and share the research work with some professors, and every professor gives observation. How is your progress? What are you doing? How is your action plan going on? Are you moving in right direction? Is your, I mean, if some changes are required, like some variables have to be added, some variables have to be dropped, some dependent relationship has to be identified, or some new research tools have to be used. All these discussions are helping there to the research scholars in adapting, in changing the research approach. That is the ultimate goal. So these are essentials, because when we are undertaking a research, right, it is not necessary that we have to be just stick to only one method. We can use multiple methods. And it is also not necessary that we have to use some statistical test. I've seen some people, you know, when they're doing their PhD, sir, how to do ANOVA? And I ask them, why are you doing ANOVA? Then I realize that ANOVA is not required there. But the person says, sir, एक statistical tool नहीं होगा तो research fail हो जाएगा. Means my PhD will be awarded only if I do apply at least one statistical test. This is a false notion. I mean, all these things should not be the purpose of research tools is to help you in research design, right? I mean, it is not necessary that you have to do somehow or other one statistical tool. No, if your research requires, you may have to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statistical tests. Depends upon the requirement. And if your research does not require, you may not have to. You know, it all depends. You know, my friend Mr. Vijay Shiri Chan, who is a professor in IIM Ahmedabad, he did his research on innovations by Gandhian institutions in the field of higher education. His research did not involve any statistical tools. He undertook a case study method, and detailed case studies of various Gandhian institutions in Gujarat were undertaken, and their contribution in the field of higher education was documented, and that was discussed. And based on that, innovation thought process was identified. My friend in IIM Ahmedabad, Mr. Astad Pastakia, did his research on environmental innovations, and during that environmental study on environmental innovation, he was using qualitative research tools, and using qualitative research tools, he was able to document many environmental innovations, right? So it depends. Another friend, Mr. Shukla, again in IIM Ahmedabad, did research on innovations in government schools in Gujarat, and some 100 innovators in government schools in Gujarat were identified. He took the list from government of Gujarat. He went to each of these teachers, took their thorough interview, and collected the data and prepared case studies on those innovative teachers. From those case studies, he finally developed a model of innovation, how teachers can become innovative, how teachers can implement innovative practices, right? And during all this process, more statistical tools were required. And ultimately, through these researches, he was able to show to the world the process of innovation in school education, which was appreciated by government of Gujarat and implemented all over Gujarat in teacher training programs, right? So a great research need not have any statistical tool also, but in often in the field of marketing, in the field of sales, in the field of consumer behavior research, or in the field of financial analysis, you require statistical tools. And fortunately, plenty of statistical tools are available. Some are priced, some are free. For example, R and I is free, and many statistical tools are free, and some are paid. The tragedy in our country is that most of the universities have subscribed SPSS, but they are not using SPSS. That is a tragedy. Tragedy in that sense that you will find that their university has purchased SPSS, paid huge money to IBM company, but the problem is that the professors working there don't have hands-on experience on working on SPSS, and so because there is no experience in you will find that in 1 year hardly 1 or 2 professors have used SPSS. That is, wastage of money, wastage of our resources, right? That should not happen, and therefore this program of FDP is being organized so that each of us we are able to undertake hands-on work experience, and we are able to know how to apply these tools. I will appreciate here our Professor Manvinder Singh Ji Pahwa is really an outstanding human being, an outstanding researcher. He's truly committed professional, truly committed researcher and academician, always willing to help researchers. And he, the credit for this FDP should go 100% to Professor Pahwa, because he conceptualized, planned, and designed this program in such a way so that each one of us can have hands-on experience of working on, SPSS. And he has arranged a laboratory, a computer lab work also. Those of you who are doing online, of course, you can do at your home. But those of you who are in Manipal University, you can, if you want, you can come to the Manipal University computer lab and use the computer lab, and the SPSS software. I had those of you who are on WhatsApp group, I had shared with you an article written by me on Sunday, published in a newspaper on Sunday, shared with you. Yes, any one of you who has read that article? Yes, any one of you who read the article? किसने पढ़ा है आप में से वो article? Any one of you?
Yes, sir, I have read it.
Okay, thank you. Well, you might have seen that I have written about the pathetic condition in India, right? Pathetic conditions of India. Why? Because I'll just show you the. This is the article that I had shared. Can you see on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. आखिर क्या हो शोध का सही नजरिया. This is very negatively written actually. इसमें बहुत negatively मैंने लिखा है कि देखिए, if you can read Hindi, then it is written there that the company which is selling SPSS is earning $77 billion from Indian colleges, universities, right? But what is happening? Nobody is using them, and therefore मैंने क्या लिखा है? I have written that better not to spend this money here. Use this money for development of sports ground, so at least some money is utilized, because this is a very tragedy. This is a harsh reality of India. This article is available on my LinkedIn page, right? Of course, people like IBM people will fire me for writing this kind of article, but this is the harsh reality. The harsh reality is because universities are spending money, but the SPSS is not used, right? Professors or researchers derive their conclusions without using SPSS, right? I mean, I'm not advocating that you have to use SPSS. You may use any statistical software, that is up to you. But if university has purchased it, SPSS is available in your university, at least you should use, so that all your statistical analysis can be undertaken. And as we discussed in the beginning, that research designs are primarily of two types: quantitative research and qualitative research. So if you are undertaking quantitative research, right, then you have to use SPSS, right? Because you require some statistical package, either SPSS or some other package, a MOS, or whatever package you want to use, whatever you are comfortable in. You have to use some package to undertake data analysis, right? And most of the researches are these days quantitative researches, right? Hardly 5% researches are qualitative researches. 95% researches are quantitative researches. So when 95% researches are quantitative researches, we require a lot of use of SPSS, right? One researcher on an average writes about 5 to 6 research papers in a year. And in that process, every 2 months, there is a new research work, new research paper is being published, and you have to undertake statistical analysis for that. So at least 6 times in a year, you have to use SPSS in order to undertake your data analysis which you have collected for your research work. That is what is my observation. Of course, it varies, because in some experimental research, it requires long time. So maybe in a year, you are able to undertake only 1 or 2 research projects. But in case of social science researches, where research is used based on quality, internet data are collected through surveymonkey.com or Google Forms or things like that. The data are quickly collected, a statistical analysis carried out. You may be able to undertake 6-7 papers in a year. You may be able to prepare 6-7 researches in a year. So in that case, you require to use SPSS at least 6-7 times in a year. And as we discussed, the quantitative research are helpful to you, because quantitative research papers are generally smaller and compact in size. They are processed faster, they're published faster by journals, because qualitative researches are very long and detailed papers, and not every journal will publish them, because the qualitative research papers will be very, very long, maybe 13-14 pages long. But quantitative research design based research papers are small, compact, and they are easily reviewed and easily published by journals, right? And you can easily showcase your content validity, your research, because every research need to have validity, reliability, generalizability. These 3 things are easy to showcase in case of quantitative research design. You know, you are using statistical software like SPSS, you can easily showcase that there is a high degree of generalizability, high degree of content validity, context, and high degree of reliability. So reliability, validity, generalizability, these 3 things are easy to prove. And you can easily disclose your content validity, your research proper methodologies are easily, well acceptable in case of quantitative research design. Therefore, I advise that in case you are using quantitative research, in case you are using quantitative design, you should use SPSS in case you are using quantitative research. If you are using qualitative research, obviously SPSS will not be required. But if you are using quantitative design, SPSS will help you. Now, again, don't use just a tool because you have to show in your research paper that I have used so many tools. No, look at your research purpose. As per your purpose, use tools. Your research purpose is important. Your research question is important. Your research design should help you in getting your answers for your research question, right? So your research question is important. Your research design is important. For achieving them, use right statistical tools if required, right? For example, if you want to study whether there is some relationship between price and demand, then a kind of correlation study can help you. You can undertake correlation based study or regression study. So the tools that you will be using would be like correlation or regression. There are two variables. One is price, one is demand. You are putting those data down, you are analyzing them, applying correlation or regression tools. Simple. On the other hand, if you are, for example, if you want to identify what are the variables that play an important role when a consumer is taking a purchase decision. Now, there are so many variables and you want to identify right set of variables, then probably you may have to use factorial studies. Probably you may have to use factor design. Probably you may have to use these research tools and group different variables, combine them, take factor study, and find out some set of variables, some set of factors that can help you in undertaking this consumer behavior. So that is the goal. Research must aim at doing justice to your research question with which you started. Your research question is the starting point, and ultimately your research should aim to help you in solving that research question. Your answer to the research question is important, right? That's why you're doing the research. Obviously, at the end of the day, people will ask you, what is the answer to your research question? Have you achieved your research objectives? Have you fulfilled your research objectives? That is the ultimate question, and you should be able to answer those questions. So you have to prepare your entire research design, research journey, research path, keeping in mind all these things, right? And you must understand the fundamental questions regarding research. Research is not necessarily just application of so and so tools. Research is discovery of a new relationship, and what it is. This is what I had shared in this article also. I'll again request you, please read this article. I have shared it in WhatsApp group. आखिर क्या हो शोध का सही नजरिया. So if you can read in Hindi, you can definitely read this article. The first thing in research, most important thing in research is that you have to discover something new. It may be new relationship, it may be new solution, it may be new tools. That is the most important thing. It is there in my LinkedIn. All of you, I'll request all of you to read it again and write your observations, and your observations will help me and other readers also. And obviously, we all have a duty to promote research, and it's our duty to promote an environment for research, right? So the starting point in research is write down your research question. How will you achieve those questions? That is research design. What will you do? What kind of research you will do? Descriptive study, experimental study. I consider experimental studies are the best. They are the best. So if possible, undertake experimental study. In marketing, it is possible. In organization behavior, it is possible. In OD, organization development, it is possible. Wherever possible, undertake experimental research if you can do. If it is not possible, no problem. You cannot do it. But if it is possible, go for experimental study, right? Then identify your sample size and other things. Different methods of samplings are there. For PhD level research, always use random sampling. Don't go for any other sampling. random sampling will help you that in ensuring that your data are giving you normality. Data are normally distributed, right? And most of the statistical tools can be used only if the data are statistically normally distributed, right? Of course, in some researches, for example, a study on petrol pump, or voting pattern of consumers, voting pattern of voters, which I was talking to you. In those cases, probably queuing theory would be applicable, and probably some other distribution will be required. But majority of the researchers require you to have assumption about normality of the data. So if you really want to go with these assumptions, you have to use random sampling, and your sample size should be large enough so that the data, and you can check it out later on, that the data are normally distributed or not. And you should, before you apply certain statistical tools, you should discuss with a lot of researchers and collect their ideas, discuss it, so that you are able to refine and improve your research methodology. There's nothing wrong in discussing about your research work. Discuss with those people who are really excellent researchers. I'll particularly recommend Professor Pahwa. If you are doing research now, if you get an opportunity, Pahwa is always available. It's always open. So if you are at the stage of research design or at the stage of data collection, definitely discuss it with Professor Pahwa, discuss it with me, discuss it with others. We will always be available, and it may help you in revising your research. You may have to update your research design, but that will help you, right? Don't be rigid about your research design. This is my final research design. No, be open to suggestions, be open to adaptations. So you should be open, you should be willing to adapt, you should be willing to modify your research design. Okay, now last 6-7 minutes are left. I open this platform for experience sharing, for discussion. If you have I will not ask you to ask questions, because I do not know whether I will be able to answer your questions or not. But you are all colleagues to me. You are all equal. We are all equal here. I'm not saying that I have more knowledge than you or something like that. No, that will be false notion. I have tried to share my knowledge. I have tried to share with you my knowledge. I do not know whether that was useful to you or not. So in the last 4-5 minutes, those of you who want to discuss, please summarize. Did you get something useful in this workshop? क्या ये workshop आपके लिए useful है? Today is the first day. What is your observation from today's day? Just share with us your observation. What is your learning from today? What did you learn from this today? What are your plans for next 6 days? And will you recommend this FDP to others? Right? So please, all of you are welcome. Nikhil has raised his hand. Dr. Nishu has raised her hand also. Dr. Nishu is already a PhD holder, so I'll give her a second chance. First, let's ask Nikhil. Nikhil Patil, what do you want to speak?
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. I am a research scholar pursuing my PhD from Karnataka University, Dharwad.
Wonderful, wonderful. It will be very useful to you. Then this FDP program is very useful. You should attend every day religiously.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir. Thank you.
You should remain always in touch with Professor Pahwa, in particular, yes, during your PhD research, because
yes,
that will help you tremendously. At least till data collection stage, you should take guidance from Professor Pahwa, and I'll also be always available to people.
Yes, sir. It is my fortune. It's my fortune I'm fortunate to be connected through this FDP, sir. And you touched upon the point, and my area of research is in management, strategic management area, where it is a qualitative exploratory research.
Okay.
Since it's being more like studying the phenomena kind.
Yes.
Its business environment impact on the strategic decision making. So
Wonderful.
that is the area of my research. So I wanted my take or my my expectation of FTP is something how I can use analysis in qualitative. You said it, not many methodologies or tools will be used, but still what and how we can use it in the qualitative. That is my
my friend PD Jose, who was did PhD is IIM Ahmedabad. My friend, yes, can you listen? Because there was voice disturbance happening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Please.
Yeah. So my friend PD Jose did PhD from IIM Ahmedabad. Right now he's working in IIM Bangalore. He did work on, topics similar to yours. His topic was on the impact of strategic decisions of companies on environment, right? So what he did was that he prepared detailed case studies on how the company's actions ultimately resulted in impact, positive or negative, on environment. And those case studies were analyzed by independent people later on. And based on this analysis, a model was developed. That was the model was to how the company should prepare their strategies. It was very much appreciated. A very good research indeed. Very good research indeed by PD Jose. It's available on internet, and his research work has been very much appreciated. So the research did not involve SPSS or any statistical packages, but it involved a case study. So if you can spend some time in reading their research work, plenty of researches have been undertaken in IIM Ahmedabad on case study methodologies, on qualitative research studies. All these will help you tremendously in developing your research tools. It is not necessary that you have to follow an existing research design. You can develop a new research design, and you can develop it and develop it as per your requirement. You can develop an innovative research design also. So you may go ahead as per your requirement. You can develop a new research design. That would be better.
Sure, sir.
May I just add something over here?
Arey sir, welcome always. We are only trying to add to your field. It is your baby. This FDP is your baby. Let me all share with you that this FDP is a brainchild of our Professor Manvinder Singh Pahwa. We all joined with him, but truly, the entire 100% credit should go to Professor Pahwa sir. Welcome, Pahwa sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And Nishuji, one thing is there. There are tools for qualitative analysis also. And my fifth PhD was a mix of qualitative. This was mixed method research. So on that we can further carry on because what the thing is, when qualitative research is used, there are certain there have to be certain you can say conditions in which you will be able to use it. Okay, and let me tell you one thing: qualitative research is much difficult to do than in case of this quantitative one. In quantitative, you have 1 + 1 is equal to 2. There 1 + 1 will not be is equal to 2. It's not easy to just make 1 + 1 equal to 2 over there in qualitative research. And by the grace of God, one or two tools I have, computer tools in which you can go for content analysis, where you can even go for a grounded theory and all these things. So that is for sure. And we were deciding upon, because this is a first workshop in the series. There will be series of workshops which Manipal University Jaipur will be conducting. You be in touch, you will get the benefit of all, and then you will be able to analyze whether qualitative will fit or quantitative will fit. Because you have just, I think the things are further moving on. So that's why it will take some time for you to, just understand it, that to what extent.
You people will be listening Professor Pahwa Saab in next 7 days, and all of you will be benefiting tremendously from these workshops. I can tell you, this is my guarantee to you. You will get tremendous knowledge, really tremendous knowledge from this.
Sir, one last question from Purudhi Raju, we can take.
No, there's more. Deepali ji has raised her hand, and Dr. Nishu ji has hand. So Deepali and Nishu ji, and then we'll take up the question by Purudhi. Okay. So just 1 minute each. Deepali ji and Dr. Nishu. Both of you, please.
Good. I'm Nishu. So my just one question is that while
Now, let
we
me
are
tell you, one condition will be there, and that will be a rule for the rest of the 7 days. Whosoever will be asking the question has to open his video. Okay, otherwise the question will not be addressed. This is one thing which everyone has to follow. Okay.
okay, sir.
Yeah, come then.
Definitely. I am not able to see my where's my camera, but sir, I just wanted to ask, while we are designing research design, there is always some what we designed before researching. Those points are very different from when we start the research. So what technique we can apply that we are near to our research while we are implementing it.
You will get the answers in the next 6 days. ये बहुत बड़ा question है. You cannot get the answer in 1 day. You will get the answer in the next 6 days. Wait. Okay.
But Dr. Nishu, you have already done your PhD, na?
Yeah, yes. She has already done PhD.
So,
No, but-
so how you saw it, let us just see it from that point of view. We'll discuss it, don't worry.
When we are doing PhD, sir, it's a 5-year long period and you have many people guiding you. Now, when we have to write a research paper for ABDC journal or any good journal, so everything falls off place. That is my only problem. It's not about I'm a doctorate or not.
No, it is not problem. It is your positive approach. You really want to learn, you really want to grow, and that is a positivity. You want to, in every situation, see, we all researchers face this situation. When we are doing research, every day, when we are discovering, when we are undertaking research, we need to revise our research designs. We need to develop new research designs as per new situation. And our research process helps us to learn, right? Deepali ji, you want to say something in 1 minute? Please summarize.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Welcome. Good evening.
Sir, right now I am in my synopsis stage and I want to work on the enterprises. And my objectives are like I want to study the problems and the challenges they are facing. So, sir, my question is, it will be a descriptive research design or how can I'm not very confused about the research design.
What is your research question? See, research design will be the tool to help you answer your research question. Your research
so my
objective,
question,
your
yes,
objective
sir,
and research question is important, right?
They are about the problems and the challenges which the enterprises are facing.
And then it will be a descriptive study. And you can use study methodology if you want. You can use, exploratory study. If you want, you can go for participative research method if you want. Or if you just want, you can use questionnaire method, collect the data and analyze it, and from there pattern can emerge out. So it is all possible. So all these possibilities will be there. They will help you.
Okay. So can't it be experimental study?
Experimental study, it is your question. Your research question was not experimental study. You said I want to explore the problems of enterprises. So it is not possible to undertake experimental study here. On the other hand, if you had told me that my purpose is to find out how to transform organization, how to help MSMEs, how to develop MSME organizations in India, then experimental study would have been possible. So that's what I said. You ask your research question. As per your question, if your question is to how to help MSME sector, then probably experimental study would be the best method. And then I could have suggested you should go for experimental study, and that would have been great. Because I always consider experimental studies are far better than descriptive studies. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. One man, Mr. Raju, was to speak. Pawar sahab, Raju ji kahan hai?
Sir, I am here, sir.
Welcome. We are waiting for you. You are the last speaker of today.
Yeah.
Speaker means most VIP.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. And right now I am doing my PhD from Geethams, Visakhapatnam, in the area of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I am actually trying to find out the entrepreneurship tendency among the self-help groups, sir.
My area of work is social entrepreneurship. My area, social entrepreneurship.
So coming few days, I would just like to have an idea of how to proceed further.
Yes, but we will discuss it in next 4 or 5 days because qualitative research or study in the field of social entrepreneurship, because your field is my field, right?
Okay.
You're doing research on social entrepreneurship. So yes, social entrepreneurship is one such field where there is a huge scope for research, and that's what you're going to do. Now, the first thing that you have to do here for research is that you have to identify right set of questions, very specific questions, which you want to do, right? I did research on social entrepreneurship when this field was not evolved. Nobody had done research at that time. I was the first person in India to do research on social entrepreneurship. You know, I started this research in 1994. There was not a single work till that time at PhD level work on social entrepreneurship. So then my research questions were very broad, right? But now when you are starting the research, plenty of research work has been done in the field of social entrepreneurship. Many research models have been established, right? And people from Tata Institute of Social Sciences and Xavier Institute of Management have contributed significantly to the field of social entrepreneurship. So when you start your research work, you have to start from those work which has already been done. You start with literature review, prepare research questions, prepare research gaps, then identify those issues on which you will work. So your research issues have to be very specific, to the point, and you have to work exactly on them.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants. Now, based on today's discussions, all of you, I'll request all of you to write 5 points in your notebook, and we will ask you to submit those 5 points, and where Professor Pahwa Saab will evolve some methodology so that best participants will be identified from this workshop. So through some mechanism, we will discuss with you tomorrow onwards some way where we will ask you to contribute those points. Now, all of you have participated in today's discussions. Lot of 1.5 hours has gone. Write down 5 points, and with that you should end your day. Okay. So now back to our our principal visionary leader, Professor M.S. Pahwa Saab. Yes, Pahwa Saab. Now I hand over the mic to you.
So very good afternoon to everyone again. Sorry, this is good evening rather, sorry. So not only this 5 points, there will be objective type questions. 5 objective type questions will be asked to you every day. And we'll give you a link, and on that link you will get the quiz, and you have to submit it whenever you want. Okay, and accordingly, those who will be submitting it regularly and those who will be participating in the program regularly, they will be awarded. So this is what our plan is. Okay, so besides writing 5 points, what Sir has told you, we will give you 5 questions also, the objective type questions. And those who have keenly attended the session will only be able to answer those correctly, right? So thank you, and see you tomorrow at 3:30 sharp. And it will be better if you can join 10 minutes earlier, so that all the glitches will not be there, because tomorrow, because this is the first day, that's why I think some hassles were there for joining, but the link will remain same. There is no need to. This is a very good thing of this MS Teams, that we need not to generate link again and again. So just you have to log in with the same link for the next 7 days, and you will get it done. Okay. Still, if you have a problem, just we all are there on the WhatsApp group, and you can just always be there just to discuss any problem. And further, I'm just sharing my number over here. Those who are not on WhatsApp group, and number was already there in our brochure also, but still I am sharing my number over here in the chat box, so you can just see it and you can just have it, right? So thank you all of you. See you tomorrow. Have a nice time. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.